Hey folks, good evening. Welcome back to the kitchen here at Markelly Farm. We're prepping tonight for a big day tomorrow, a day that I've been waiting for a long time. It's been a long time in the making, so stick around. It's going to be a fun time. So what we're doing tomorrow is we're going to cook in our new barbecue. First time we're ever cooking in it. So tonight we need to do some meat prep, and that's what we're doing right now. We've got a few meats that are going on here. So one of the things that we're making is pulled beef, like a barbacoa type thing that you can eat just like pulled pork. I wanted to buy a full chuck roll, but they didn't have one at the store, so I bought 3 big boneless chuck roasts. And what we're doing right now is we just seasoned it with half and half salt and pepper, using kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. And we've already patted these dry with paper towels. We've seasoned them up real nice. Now they're going to go in the fridge overnight, so they'll dry up a little bit, and that seasoning will work its way into the meat. So now we're going to go down and get the chicken. Now we got some chicken leg quarters, which is the drumstick and the thigh attached, skin on, bone in. And they're going to get the same treatment as the beef, half and half salt and pepper after we dry them off a little bit. Got one tray of our chicken done. We're doing it on this little cookie sheet so we don't waste any seasoning. We didn't really have to pat them dry. This Playtex poultry pad took care of most of that. These are disgusting. That's a lot of weight that you're paying for too. Okay, the chicken's got a good liberal coating of our salt pepper mix. Now that's going back down in the fridge. We'll get our next item out. Alright folks, the next thing is a 5-pound chub of bologna. Yes, we're going to do smoked bologna. They call it a Mississippi prime rib in the barbecue community. But I've always wanted to smoke some smoked bologna. So I'd prefer another brand, but this is what we got. So we're going to get this casing off of here. This is what they actually cook it in. This casing here, it's just plastic. Take that off, and then we're going to score it up. Got our bologna unwrapped. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a sharp knife, and we're going to hold our finger about 1 inch up on the sharp knife, 3/4 to 1 inch. And we're going to score it end to end, our finger keeping it from going too deep. And we're going to do it about every inch all the way around this chub. Okay, we got our chub scored all the way around. Next thing we're going to do is put a binder on this, because you can't season it as is. The seasoning will just fall off. So for that, we're going to use yellow mustard. We're going to put a good liberal coating of yellow mustard all over this, as much as it will stick. And then we'll go in with our seasoning. Our seasoning is equal parts brown sugar, chili powder, and kosher salt. So I just did 2 teaspoons of each. So we'll get this coated with mustard, and then we'll season. Okay, we're all seasoned up, so this is going to go in the fridge overnight as well. All right, folks, we're all cleaned up. Time for bed. We'll see you in the morning. We're going to start a fire and get to cooking. Good morning, folks. Time to get the barbecue out. We're going to get the tractor, get that pulled out, get our wood moved over, get this thing burning. Got our grill brought out, got our wood moved over. Time to start a fire. Supposed to get some weather in this afternoon, and the wind's coming up. Hopefully I don't have to deal with crazy wind today. Looks like we should have barbecued yesterday, but it is what it is. We're going to burn it. We got to pull this thing into the barn and finish. We'll do that. All right, we got our kicker going. Got some small wood in the firebox. Get some coals going. Then we'll start putting some larger wood in there. Remember last time we had this thing all seasoned, ready to cook. Now we don't have to start too early because we're not eating till later this afternoon. And the cuts of meat that we're cooking today aren't that thick, so it's not going to take a lot of hours. We'll probably get 3 to 4 good smoke hours in, low and slow, probably at about 225, 250. Get plenty of smoke on, and then we'll kick up the fire to maybe 250 to 300 to do our braising inside the pan once we get all the smoke we want. Okay, we got a good fire going in the firebox. We're going to go get our blower fan, get it out here, get it ready to go. Okay, we got our blower fan installed. We're cooking at a nice even temp. Our smoke has cleaned up. We're running clean smoke now, which is what we want. We're just under 250 degrees. So we're going to go get some meat. The cook chamber looks awesome. We're going to go ahead, put our beef roasts right here across the middle. All right, we'll get her closed up. Got our bologna chub. Put that on over here. Got our chicken over here, our leg quarters. Time to close her up. If you're looking, you ain't cooking. Well, have y'all ever seen a beer drinking barbecue grill? Now you have. Remember our fluid box we put in there? So that's going to boil once we get up to about 212 degrees or so. And it's going to provide moisture inside the cook chamber so we don't have to do a lot of basting. This barbecue runs on about 1 beer per hour. Or beer, wine, or water, it don't matter, it'll run on it, unlike a vehicle. But we've got a chair and a beverage out here. So all we got to do is sit and watch the temps for a little bit. Just kick back. We're running about 230. Perfect. I cannot say enough good stuff about this blower setup that I put on this smoker. You can literally dial in your temperature, and then look at this beautiful clean smoke that we get. You don't want the white smoke because that makes your meat taste like it came out of a house fire. I'll show you this fan setup here. Here's our blower fan we got off of Amazon, and I just built a tube to go in our kicker hole there. And then here's your adjustment. You can dial it from 0 all the way up to a lot. And then where you set it, you can almost see the thermometer move when you turn it, and you can dial it in. Time for beer number 2. Thirsty barbecue. Well, look how even these temps are running. Isn't that crazy? That cookie temperature equalized all through the chamber. Well, while this thing's in cruise mode, I'm going to go in and put some beans together. Start off with a pound of bacon. Next thing is a pound of ground beef. After it browns, drain most of the grease out. So we're going to go in with our beans. 2 cans of pork and beans. We made our own. Also need a can of kidney beans and a can of butter beans, but you want to drain both of these cans before you dump them in. Next is 1 large onion. 1 cup of ketchup. 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke. 3 tablespoons of white vinegar, and a little dash of black pepper. Now we just let this simmer. Let's get back out to the barbecue. Still at about 230. Boy, what a dream this thing is. So we're going to get ready here in probably about 15 minutes to do our first check. Okay, we're going to do a quick check. So everything's looking gorgeous in here. I'm going to flip our chicken over onto the skin side to help render some of that skin out. Boy, that chicken just looks beautiful. Just gorgeous looking chicken. Rotate our roast over. Got beautiful color on those as well. We'll rotate our bologna. We can go for about another hour, I think, in this smoke, and then we're going to wrap everything up and cover it up in some foils. Got my handy dandy little tool hangers. Beer number 3 going in. Barbecue drinks more beer than I do. Of course, I don't drink much beer at all now these days. A little smoke in the bottle. Okay, our meat's just about ready for wrap, so we're putting together some braising liquid to pour in the pan with the beef. I've got 2 cups of beef stock, a stick of butter, and about a 1/4 cup of garlic here. We're going to melt this down and get it to a simmer because we don't want to dump cold liquid in with our meat because that'll stall out our cook. And then we'll wrap it up, and it doesn't need to go back in the barbecue because once it's wrapped it won't take on any more smoke. So we've preheated our oven to 300 and we'll do the braising in here. We've gone ahead and pulled our chicken first. Doesn't that look just absolutely amazing? So we're going to foil wrap this. This is going to go back on the barbecue because we don't need the 300 degrees that the beef needs. Okay, we got it wrapped up nice and tight. The chicken doesn't need any braising liquid because there's going to be a lot of liquid come out of that chicken while it sits in this pan. Look at that beautiful beef. Oh my gosh. Let's get this in the pan. Alright, got our beef inside here. We're going to go on top with our braising liquid right into the pan. So we're going to bring this up to an internal temperature of about 205, and then it'll shred just beautifully. Okay, we got our beef wrapped up. We got our thermometer in it. Let's go out and get the bologna. There's our smoked bologna. We're going to hit it with some of our sun-dried plum barbecue sauce all over that. Then we're going to put it back on the barbecue to get it all glazy and sticky. Okay, we got the barbecue glaze on there. Gets down in all those little slots that we cut that opened up. So this goes back on the barbecue, but we're not done with it yet. Got our chicken wrapped up. We got our bologna, got it glazed real good. We threw in a round of German sausage. That doesn't need to go on till last, obviously. Let's close her up. The wind's getting stupid out here. Should have barbecued yesterday, like I said. Well, it's time to go pull our bologna. Well, that didn't come out right, did it? Time to go pull the bologna chub out of the barbecue and go the next step on it. Look at that beautiful mahogany color. So now we're going to take it out of here and we're going to do some slices of our bologna, some good slices. And then we're going to glaze it again, put it back in the pan, and then back in the barbecue again. Got our bologna sliced, glazed both sides. Got our end cuts down here for a little pit master's prize. So back out on the barbecue with that. Gonna turn our sausages over. Looking good. Get her closed up again. Got tasters going on. This is so good. Perfect smoky flavor. A little bit of sweetness from that sauce. The texture is so much better than like fresh bologna. Doesn't even taste like bologna. So good. Well, folks, I lost all track of time because we were running late. The beef was taking longer than anticipated. We had to go 3 hours on that before it would pull. But it pulled nicely and the flavor was fantastic. We ran into a softball game and then it was my cousin's anniversary. So we took all the barbecue in to them and had a nice supper. But I got leftovers I can show you, don't worry. So we're going to package this stuff up and I'll show you. The flavor was phenomenal. The chicken was so tender, just falling off the bone. The beef had a really good flavor. The bologna was a hit. It was all pretty good. There's what's left of the bologna. We'll get that packaged up and put in the fridge. We'll enjoy that throughout the week. Looks like I got 4 lunches this week. There's our beautiful pulled beef right there. It was just gorgeous. Look at this au jus we have in the pan. I made a French dip sandwich there with this stuff. So we're going to pull all this meat out of here, put a little bit of juice in with it, and then we'll save the rest of this juice for like a soup stock or beef stock. It'll be really good in any kind of dish. There's our beef and our wonderful jus here. We skim the fat off the top of that. That can be turned into tacos or more French dip along with this. The chicken was also a hit. Just falling off the bone. Watch, I'll pull on this leg bone here. I can grab a hold of it. Yeah, this just comes right out of there like that. Just phenomenal chicken. We're going to bone all this out. Save it for some chicken wraps. And then all this beautiful juice, we're saving that as well. Can't let that liquid gold go. Look at this chicken thigh right here. I want you to see how juicy it is. Remember, we did not put any braising liquid into this. It was just the chicken. And look how this chicken just flakes apart. Just so beautiful. See how that bone just lifts right out of there? Isn't that crazy? How tender and juicy that is. Just absolutely amazing. Alright, some fantastic smoky pulled chicken and some really good chicken stock here. Also going in the fridge. This is the beans we had left over. Enough for a couple lunches during the week. Alright folks, we got our humongous mess cleaned up from our barbecue shenanigans today. I must say that barbecue performed flawlessly. I could not ask for a better build. It just worked exactly as intended. The only thing I would do different is not chase the deviation so much. So like when you add wood, it will flare because you have the door open on the firebox. So I would go turn the fan down to try to compensate for that. But I found if you just leave it set, close the door, it'll come back down on its own because only so much combustion can happen with any given amount of air that you're putting into the firebox, no matter how much wood you have in there. So that's really going to help me dial things in just by doing that. But could not ask for a better turnout today. Hope you enjoyed burning the new barbecue and cooking on it. The food was phenomenal. Fantastic flavor. Everybody really enjoyed it tonight. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here at Markelly Farm.
First thing you have to do when grilling is to marinate. A lot of people like Budweiser or Mountain Dew, and heck, I've been baptized in both of them. But if you live by the ocean, take advantage of the salt water. It's a proven fact there's as much percentage in the salt in the ocean as there is in our blood. So that's how it's come my steak melts in your mouth. Plus, the Puerto Ricans that built the pyramids only had salt to preserve their meat, and that's why they live so long. Look it up. So number one rule of thumb, I swear to God, hook it before you cook it. Here we go. You should always make dinner bait before you put it on your plate. See, there's salt on all four sides. And you know it's done when it stops dripping like a stalactite. That's perfect.